I get a lot of really helpful comments, and I appreciate them all. But sometimes there's some flakes of gold that show up down there that I just, I just have to talk about. This one comes from Bro Dukin, and he says, "I'm super drunk watching your vid after some late night third strike before bed, and the quick edits had me fucked up." That was the stream video where there was like a lot of very random cuts. I was trying to get a feel for how I wanted to edit those kind of videos. And he says, felt like lag in my brain. I enjoy your videos, but maybe you're thinking too hard about everything. You constantly give your opponents a lot of credit with their decisions while doubting your own. I'm a super gold scrub, so feel free to ignore me. But I don't know. Just play your game, man. You'll get better. I don't know what it is about my brain, but simple little gestures like that go a long way with me. Like, I hang on to it. I think about it for a while, and I feel like he just really hit the nail on the head. A lot of people will comment very long, complex things on these videos, and I appreciate it, like I said, but these simple little things just hit different, like I get what he's saying within a sentence. Also, don't feel like your rank really determines if your opinion is valid or not, right? He says super gold, I can ignore him if I want. I don't really care. If you make a good point, you make a good point. I don't care what your skill level is in the game. But I know some people do, right? He wouldn't have put that at the end of the comment if he didn't know somebody who did carry a lot of value in what a person thinks based on their little rank. It's a sad truth, but it happens. It happens in the community. I'm just not one of those people. I want to make that very clear. So feel free to comment whatever you want. I don't really care how long you played the game or how much you played the game. I really want to talk about that bottom part though. Giving your opponents a lot of credit while doubting your own decision. I'm very guilty of it, right? This is a viewer who spotted it in one of my videos, but if you go back and watch any of the other videos, it's also in there. It's okay, and it's a good practice to credit your opponent, but you don't have to bring yourself down when you do it, right? Just because you compliment somebody doesn't mean somebody has to be the victim. Like you can say, "Hey, that was good," without saying, "Hey, that was a bad decision from me," right? But he just played it well. I didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but it's like a weird wire in my brain that doesn't work right or doesn't connect that says, no, this person did something good, so you must have did something bad, which oftentimes can be the case, but not always. And even if it is the case, it's not always a good practice to tell yourself about it, right? Sometimes I think it's a little bit healthy to hide from those realities. You don't have to always face it. What it boils down to is just a very unhealthy relationship with my confidence. I can make these videos and talk to the camera, and I'm very good at presenting in class and things like that, and talking to people and presenting in front of others, right? That's what we associate confidence with a lot of the times, right? Is the way that we approach things that are scary, like public speaking and stuff like that. I can do that pretty well. Where I really falter is when it's a test of my skill, when it's like a 1v1 match, like I'm playing a fighting game, right? Or I'm playing anything that is testing my skill personally. I just often take the easiest route, which is to lose and then cope with it. And what ends up happening is I'll be like, I don't know, mid-set, or I'll be mid-game or something, and I'll drop a round, or I'll drop a game within the set, and I'm already coping with the loss. I'm already making up like 16 excuses why I lost this set, and I didn't even lose yet, right? I've already accepted. I'm already coping, and I'm already thinking about what I'm going to tell my friends, why I lost. This is why, he's random, he's whatever. I've already coped with the loss, and it hasn't even happened yet, right? That's the issue, is when it comes to a test of skill, I just take the easy way out, and it's much easier to lose than it is to win. And I think the opposite, like the vice versa of that, is why I'm pretty good at presenting and making these videos, because it's much easier to just sit down and make the video or go up in front of the class and talk than it is to sit back and hope you run out of time. You run out of time in class and then your group doesn't present, but then you have to do it next class, right? It's easier to get it done and over with than it is to sit back and do nothing. But in the case of something like fighting games, it's much easier to not compete. It's much easier to just lose and talk about it with your friends afterwards. And in the same vein, if your self-esteem is very low, your confidence in yourself is very low, losing is the easiest option. Winning is so much harder for somebody who doesn't think very much of themselves or doesn't think very much of their own skills or capabilities. I don't believe that my footsie game is good enough to win. Like, I don't think I can solely rely on my footsies enough to win, and that's why I play such like a lazy, half-assed game. Like, it's why when I lose neutral, I start getting random, or I start like flailing around and hoping something happens. It's because I don't believe in it. I don't believe that I'm good enough to win solely based on fundamentals and footsies. And whether that's right or wrong is besides the point. You can think whatever you think about my gameplay. You can think I'm bad at the game, I'm random, I'm trash, whatever. To me, what I just said about my footsies game not being enough to win me games needs to be false. Internally, I need to know that that is not true and that I am getting better and I am getting to the point where my footsies game is good enough. Just even if it's not true yet, just to build the confidence to be able to get to where I need to be, I need to believe in myself a little bit more. And that is a fundamental aspect of the game that I think I just don't believe in enough. And to have, listen, no offense to Bro Dukin, but to have a drunk man in my comment section point out to me that I'm not confident enough, it's just kind of sad when you think about it. Like, how little could a person think of themselves that they have to have somebody else tell them that they notice it? Like, you can tell you just don't believe in yourself enough. And I think it's going to take time, right? Like, these feelings of low self-esteem and low confidence don't just show up one day. They're very deeply rooted in the way I perceived myself when I was younger, right? And things like that, especially in high school. You know, it's much easier when people, you know, start bullying you and things like that to just join them, right? The policy that I used to have was just be self-deprecating, you know, make jokes about yourself before they can make them about you. And you don't really believe those jokes until you say them all the time. And then you realize, hey, I'm the butt of the joke. Like, they're laughing at me. They're not laughing with me. But it feels better when I make the joke about myself before they do. Because in a sense, you just don't believe it until you hear it every day. And then subconsciously, you internalize it. And that's kind of something I realized lately. For all those years, you feel like you're the funny guy, right? You're the life of the party. Everybody's laughing with you, right? Laughing at your jokes. They think you're the funny guy. But in the end, you were the butt of the joke. They were laughing at you. And bullying takes so many different forms and that you don't realize until you get older, right? Very subtle tones. You think these people are your friends until they're not, you know, until the things they say start to hurt a little bit. And the things that you say about yourself start to not come from yourself anymore. Like, people start saying those jokes back to you and calling you names. Listen, being a brown kid in a predominantly I went to a predominantly white school, and I also went to a predominantly Hispanic and black school, right? I just felt always out of place, you know. There wasn't very many kids like me, and oftentimes the jokes that they say because you're a brown kid, you can imagine, right? They're very racial and things like that, and they have an impact on you, very subtle, but they chip away at you day after day, and you don't realize how it really affects you until you get older. This video took a really weird turn, but childhood trauma, huh? I'm just going to let you guys go for now. I don't know how we got there, but I'm glad I got it off my chest, I guess. A little therapy session at the end here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider subscribing, and I'll talk to you again very soon.